the heads.
Okay. Can we have Muhammad?
Hey, it's Cerberus.
Muhammad is
Muhammad's
later.
not there.
He's elsewhere.
He's an
I
ace.
have Cerberus.
Oh, right, he is. No, he's a bad thing. Judas is
Schismatic,
Brutus
actually.
Yeah.
Children. Alright, so the Inferno is sort of predicated on this idea of contrapasso, means counter-suffering. The idea is basically sort of, divine punishment fits the crime kind of thing. Like, so basically you start with the people that nobody gives a damn about outside hell. They are here and they are sad. Now, the deal with them is they're sort of people who took no sides in life. They were neither good nor bad. And so they can't get into hell because they'd make everyone else in hell. They'd sort of look good next to everyone else in hell. But they never did anything to justify getting into heaven. So they kind of are doomed to sit outside the gates forever, wishing that they were even slightly relevant and envying the damned and the people in heaven. And basically, it's really
Chasing
bad to them.
flags, right?
Yeah, chasing flags because they didn't have causes in life. Contrapasso.
Oh my god, that's where I'm going to be.
I mean, like, I think that's where a lot of people are, honestly. But, yeah, so basically, Dante sort of takes a lot of aspects from the sort of Greek idea of the underworld. Like, he's got the sort of main rivers that were in the underworld. So you start with the Acheron, and it sort of marks the section of sins of incontinence, where you start at the very outermost, I'm losing track of my things here, with the unbaptized, with the unbaptized people. And basically they didn't do anything except get born before there was Christ. And so they don't have any punishment except separation from God. And, this is where you find Virgil, who ends up guiding Dante throughout all of hell. He admired Virgil's literary style very much and wanted to be just like him. And there were a few people saved from here by Jesus, mostly people mentioned in the Old Testament Bible, but it doesn't seem likely that anyone else is ever getting out.
Except for that one dude, the centurion.
Yeah, the people who...
There's
Harrowing
that
of hell.
dude who, Jesus shows up to him magically.
Yeah, that's what I said. Jesus came and took some of the
The
other
harrowing of hell.
Anyway.
Sorry, I thought you said something else.
Anyway.
This is the outer first circle.
Yeah, this is the very first one.
Gotcha.
And then you have the lustful. Now, this is my favorite example of contrapasso just because it's very clear. The lustful are blown around by winds for all of eternity because in life they were dragged around by their immoderate desires all the time, unable to, have their own volition. So you have a bunch of famous lovers in here, and lots of sad stories. Lancelot, Dido, yeah, basically
Dude,
everyone.
Lancelot just paints all the time. That's how in love he is.
What a Fego.
And, well, no, the Figgle will come later. Then there are the gluttons.
Straight acting.
No?
That's a lot of straight acting.
Well.
Keep going.
Anyway, then there are the gluttons. The gluttons are hella fat. They're bloated and hideous, and they are rained on by sort of slush and ice for all eternity.
It sucks.
Yeah.
Wait,
Pretty much.
What's the reason behind
You don't pronounce all of this stuff.
Because the gluttons were fat and ate a
so
lot
much
in life, so
experience
in
with Thunder Snow.
death they're fat.
I mean,
It hurts. That's about the extent of it.
Also, cold roughly equal to hungry in a lot of texts.
Yeah.
So.
And then come the spenders and hoarders. They have wheels, and they smash big wheels into each other and yell at each other about their various sins, and the spenders have to bring the rocks back, and the hoarders have to take the rocks away, so they're doing things against their inclinations, and they're basically very unpleasant to each other. And then you come to the wrathful and the sullen. And the waters of the Styx are sort of like gross and kind of filthy and putrid, and the wrathful are sort of fighting each other and clawing at each other in the river, and the sullen lie on the bottom and bubble unhappily about how miserable they are, like they did in life.
But this is where we find the UFC students.
Some of them, yeah. And, yeah, Dante has a fun incident with Virgil where he's crossing it in a boat, and they start clawing at the boat and trying to drag him down, and he hits them, and Virgil's very proud of him for abusing the damned. Anyway, so across the Styx, you get to the heretics. The heretics are lying in burning coffins forever. And, yeah, they're fairly cool, but I'm not going to stay here too long, because I have an excessively long talk. Then you hit the, I so cannot pronounce this, phlegathon, sins of violence, basically is what kind of starts there. And the sort of first outward are those who are violent towards others. And they lie in the rivers of burning blood. and centaurs fire arrows at those who try to get out of the burning blood because the burning blood hurts. Then come those who are violent towards self, the suicides, and the suicides are turned into trees because they deprive themselves of their bodies. Yes, trees. And the harpies fly among
Don't
the
their
forest.
bodies also lay in the tree, I think?
Yeah, sometimes the mangled bodies are spread across, because the idea is that the Day of Judgment, unlike everyone else, since they deprive themselves of their bodies, they will not get their bodies back. They'll just have the pieces of their bodies strewn across the branches.
And aren't the trees bleeding or something?
Well, that's what I was getting to. The
Oh, sorry.
harpies tear away the twigs, and, blood comes forth, and when the twigs are torn away, the trees can talk, and they, make noises of pain, and they recite their stories to Dante. And, then there's those who are violent towards God, the blasphemers, and there's the blasphemers, the sodomites, and the usurers are all on a plane with raining fire. That's sort of raining fire, and the blasphemers have to lie down, I believe, and the sodomites, I think the usurers are all running forever underneath the fire, and if they stop, they have to spend a century, I think, exposing themselves fully to the fire instead of running away from it. And it's here that we again run into Dante's friend Bruno Latini, and yes.
The sodomites run forever.
Yeah, I said the sodomites ran.
Mhm.
I thought you said the usurers.
No,
I said I couldn't
Usurers.
remember if the usurers ran too, but
The
I think they
usurers
all-
sit down.
Okay, no, the usurers sit, right, and the blasphemers lie down and the sodomites run.
He
And
has to jog alongside him.
Okay, yeah.
yes, that's what I was getting to.
Sorry!
And so, yeah, the sodomites run, and he runs into his old friend Bruno Latini, who, if you remember, was one of those who were sort of getting the beautiful new style going, and there's a very sort of sad scene where, he's sort of saying, like, oh, it's awful that you're in hell, and, like, he has to sort of run with him, and they're talking about Latini's work, and, yeah, basically, he sort of says he lives on in his work, and it's the only part in the Inferno where he describes someone as sort of overcoming their punishment. He has a part where he talks about when he sees Latini running away, how he looks like one who runs for a banner on the green field and looks like not one who loses but one who wins. And it's a very strange sort of passage, and I believe this is one of the sort of more read cantos in Italy, because there are specific cantos in Italy that everyone reads. Anyway, from the Plane of Fire, he gets carried away by a really awesome demon called Geryon that I used to draw in my notebooks as a child, that has, like, little, it has lion claws and a human face and a sort of scorpion snake tail, and he's very creepy, and Dante has to hitch a ride with him, and it's very frightening. But, and from Geryon takes them to the sins of fraud, where you start off with the seducers and the panderers, who are forced to march by demons and whip. It's not that interesting a rung of hell. Basically, the idea is they made other people march, so they're being forced to march. Very
Where
nice.
are we now? Just curious.
Good question, actually. I've lost track
You
of
should
the
number them.
numbers. I should number them. That would have been wise. However, I have the numbers here. Panderers.
All the politicians.
18. The politicians come later, actually.
Wait, they're not panderers?
They're below panderers. They're... Dante has politics.
The Pandarers are the campaign advisors.
They are actually below them. We have campaign advisors.
We're talking about the advisors that are bad.
The
quote,
false
unquote.
counselors, yes. So, yes, seducers and panderers whipped forward, not that fun. Flatterers. They're forced to sit in a river of shit forever because they were full of it. And the simoniacs, those who sold church offices for money, they're stuck headfirst into holes of rock with flames burning their feet forever, as a sort of reverse baptism kind of idea. Dante runs into a lot of people he knows throughout the course of these things. Some of them he's vaguely sympathetic to. Mostly he yells at them and hits them with things, and Virgil says, "Yeah, you get him." That's about how it goes. Then there are the diviners. The diviners' heads are twisted backwards on their bodies, and they're made to cry all the time with the tears obscuring their vision. So, now they can't look ahead at all or even see, is a punishment for their crime. Contrapasso again. Then you come to the barrators. The sort of people who... The literal definition is people who sort of are very legalistic, proceeding groundless lawsuits, but the real sort of intent is the kind of conniving politicians and the double speakers, people who could stand for any position, that kind of thing. They are stuck in a lake of boiling pitch, where demons flay them with hooks whenever they try to get above the boiling pitch. Now, there's a good scene here, however, where one of